Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamti Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, the activities of the Prachetas, text number 36 onwards. So Prachetas are further glorifying the Lord, and the Lord asks them for the benediction, so they are asking. Yatra Narayana Sakshat Bhagwanyasinam Gatihi Sanstuyate Satkathasu Mukta Sangahe Punaha Punaha. The Supreme Lord Narayan is present among devotees who are engaged in hearing and chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Narayan is the ultimate goal of sannyasis, those in the renounced order of life, and Narayan is worshipped through this Sankirtan movement by those who are liberated from material contamination. Indeed, they recite the holy name again and again. The Mayavadi sannyasis are missing the real presence of Narayan. This is because they falsely claim to be Narayan himself. According to the customary etiquette of Mayavadi sannyasis, they address one another as Narayan. Actually, when they meet each other, they say Namo Narayan, means they are worshipping each other. And they are praying obeisances to each other, considering both of them are Narayan. To say that everyone is a temple of Narayan is correct, but to accept another human being as Narayan is a great offense. The conception of Daridra Narayan, poor Narayan, and attempt to identify the poor with Narayan is also a great offense. Even to identify Narayan with demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva is an offense. One who considers Lord Narayan on a level with great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva is immediately listed among non-believers. The fact is that by performing Sankirtan Yajna, one can immediately please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Narayan himself descends and immediately is present. In this age of Kali, Narayan is immediately present in the form of Lord Chaitanya. Concerning Lord Chaitanya, Srimad Bhagavatam states, in this age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. After all, human life is meant for pleasing Narayan, and this can easily be done by performing Sankirtan Yajna. Whenever there is congregational chanting the holy names of the Lord, Gaur Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Lord Chaitanya, immediately appears and is worshipped by Sankirtan Yajna. So here in this verse, it is said Narayan is present among devotees who are engaged in hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord. So this is what Prabhupada is explaining. Narayan is there in his holy name, but we are not Narayan. Mayavadis say we all are Narayan, but we are not Narayan. So Narayan or Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is present whenever the names are sung. In this verse, it is said that Narayan is Nyasinam Gati, the ultimate goal of the sannyasis. The goal of those who have renounced the material world is attainment of Narayan. A Vaishnava sannyasi therefore dedicates his life to serving Narayan. He does not falsely claim to be Narayan. Instead of becoming Nirvaira, non-envious of other living entities, one who tries to become Narayan becomes envious of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the attempt to become Narayan constitutes the greatest offense. Actually, when one chants or discusses the transcendental activities of the Lord, he immediately becomes non-envious. In this material world, everyone is envious of everyone else. But by vibrating or discussing the holy name of the Lord, one becomes non-envious and devoid of material hankering. Because of our envy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have become envious of all other living entities. When we are no longer envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there will be real peace, unity and fraternity in the human society. Without Narayan or Sankirtan Yagya, there cannot be peace in this material world. So very powerful, this paragraph Prabhupada has written. In this material world, everyone is envious of everyone else. Why? Because we are envious of Krishna. We can say, I'm not envious of Krishna. Krishna is way too high. There's somebody way up there for me to even compare myself to. But being envious of Krishna means we are just jealous that how come he is the proprietor of everything? How come he is the controller? How come he has all the 6 opulences in full? Knowledge, beauty, fame, strength, Aishwarya, opulence, and renunciation. Everybody in the material world is hankering for these things to one degree or the other. And Krishna has them in full, complete, absolutely. So why Prabhupada says we are envious of Krishna is because we want those things. Why Krishna has them? Why don't I have it? And in the process, we become envious of other living entities who are in one way or the other better than us. Maybe somebody is more beautiful. Maybe somebody is more rich. Maybe somebody is more knowledgeable. Maybe somebody is more famous than I am. Maybe somebody has better qualities than I am. Not just maybe, actually people do have. That's why in Hindi there's a saying, har ser ko sawa ser jarur milta hai duniya mein. Means somebody in the material world is better than us, or most of the people are better than us, and then we become envious of their achievements, their qualities, and we want to have them because ultimately we are envious of Krishna. On the other hand, if we engage ourselves in the Sankirtan Yagya, so in the Yagya, we burn our quality, our tendency of this enviousness, and we try to become servants. Instead of being envious of Krishna, let's be servant of Krishna. Just like for Narad Muni, Maitreya Rishi, when he was speaking the shloka for Narad Muni, he said, Bhagwan Narad. He's not the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he has so many qualities. How did he get those qualities? By serving Krishna. Serving Krishna wholeheartedly, without any ulterior motive. He got wonderful qualities. Even the Prachetas, they got so many benedictions from the Supreme Lord by serving him. So instead of being envious of him and envious of other living entities, if we serve Krishna and other living entities, if we serve with real mode of being servant, we can get so many qualities. Then we don't even hanker for those things, but Krishna will give. And that's a real position. That's a real achievement. But otherwise, everybody is envious of everybody else. And we can see it in our lives. Tesham vichartam padabhyam tirthanam pavanechaya bhitasya kim na rocheta tavakanam samagamaha. Dear Lord, your personal associates, devotees, wander all over the world to purify even the holy places of pilgrimage. Is not such activity pleasing to those who are actually afraid of material existence? There are 2 kinds of devotees. One is called Goshtanandi and other Bhajnanandi. The word Bhajnanandi refers to the devotee who does not move but remains in one place. Such a devotee is always engaged in the devotion service of the Lord. He chants the Mahamantra as taught by many acharyas and sometimes goes out for preaching work. The Goshtanandi is one who desires to increase the number of devotees all over the world. He travels all over the world just to purify the world and the people residing in it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised, Prithvi te acha yad nagaradigram sarvatra prachar haibe moranam. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted his followers to move all over the world to preach in every town and village. In the Chaitanya Sampradaya, those who strictly follow the principles of Lord Chaitanya must travel all over the world to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya, which is the same as preaching the words of Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. The more the devotees preach the principles of Krishna Katha, the more people throughout the world will benefit. And more people throughout the world become devotees or become Krishna conscious. Krishna will be pleased with us. Mahaprabhu will be pleased. Guru Parampara will be pleased with us. And this way we remove this tendency of enviousness from our heart. Although it's difficult, it's not that easy. We might not be envious of materialistic people, thinking, oh, look at them, they are still engaged in this pound, shilling, pence business, but we can get envious of other devotees. How come he sings better than me? How come he chants better than me? How come he gives classes better than me? How come he knows more shlokas than me? Whatever. There could be umpteen reasons to become envious. But instead of enviousness, we have to develop mode of service. Devotees like the sage Narad, who travels all over to preach, are like Goshtanandi. Narad Muni is always wandering throughout the universe just to create different types of devotees. Narad even made a hunter a devotee. He also made Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj devotees. Actually, all devotees are indebted to the great sage Narad, for he has wandered both in heaven and in hell. A devotee of the Lord is not even afraid of hell. He goes to preach the glories of the Lord everywhere, even in hell, because there is no distinction between heaven and hell for a devotee. A pure devotee of Narayan is never afraid of going anywhere and everywhere. For him, heaven and hell are one and the same. Such devotees wandering all over the world deliver those who are actually afraid of this material existence. Some people are already disgusted with material existence, being confused and frustrated by material enjoyment. And some people who are intelligent are interested in understanding the Supreme Lord. Both may take advantage of the pure devotee who wanders throughout the world. So this is the job of a devotee or a preacher. He goes everywhere and he tries to bring people to Krishna consciousness. When a pure devotee goes to a place of pilgrimage, he desires to purify that holy place of pilgrimage. Many sinful men bathe in the holy waters of the places of pilgrimage. They take their baths in the waters of the Ganges and Yamuna at places such as Prayag, Vrindavan, and Mathura. In this way, the sinful men are purified, but the sinful actions and reactions remain at the holy places of pilgrimage. When a devotee comes to take his bath at those places of pilgrimage, the sinful reactions left by the sinful men are neutralized by the devotee. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. Because the devotee always carries the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart. Wherever he goes becomes a place of pilgrimage, a holy place for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is therefore the duty of everyone to associate with the pure devotee and thus attain freedom from material contamination. Everyone should take advantage of the wandering devotees whose only business is to deliver conditioned souls from the clutches of Maya. course, we when we go and bathe in either Prayag or Vrindavan or Mathura or other places, Haridwar, in Ganges or Yamuna or Kaveri, Sindhu, Godavari, whatever rivers we go and take bath in. At our stage, we don't think we are purifying Ganges or Yamuna. We should always have this humble mode that, oh Mother Ganges, you please purify me. Oh Holy Name, you please purify me. I am very sinful. I am the most sinful actually. And if Krishna wants to purify the rivers through us, it's up to him. If he thinks there is some quality in us, let him decide. But we don't get into this kind of mood. Oh, see, this is what scriptures are speaking, and I am purifying Ganges. There's no way. Vayam tu sakshat bhagwan bhavasya priyasya sakhyukshana sangamena sudushchikitsyasya bhavasya mrityor bhishaktamam tvadya gatim gatasma. Dear Lord, by virtue of a moment's association with Lord Shiva, who is very dear to you and who is your most intimate friend, we are very fortunate to attain you. You're the most expert physician capable of treating the incurable disease of material existence. On account of our great fortune, we have been able to take shelter at your lotus feet. On account of our great fortune, we have been able to take shelter at your lotus feet. It has been said, Harim Vinam Ritim Taranti, without taking shelter of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, one cannot attain relief from the clutches of Maya, the repetition of birth, old age, disease, and death. The Prachetas receive the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the grace of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is a supreme devotee of Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vaishnavanam Yathasham. The most exalted Vaishnava is Lord Shiva. And those who are actually devotees of Lord Shiva follow Lord Shiva's advice and take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Because Shivji himself says, even as Shankaracharya, he said, Narayana Parava Mekta. And Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Udamate. The so-called devotees of Lord Shiva who are simply after material prosperity are in a way deceived by Lord Shiva. He does not actually deceive them because Lord Shiva has no business deceiving people. But because the so-called devotees of Lord Shiva want to be deceived, Lord Shiva, who is very easily pleased, allows them all kinds of material benedictions. These benedictions might, ironically, result in the destruction of the so-called devotees. So, Lord Shiva is Param Vaishnava. Vaishnava means Partukya Tukhi. But at the same time, Lord Shiva is very, very compassionate. And he gets pleased very easily. So if somebody wants material benediction, he gives them. Okay, just have them and be happy. Or try to be happy. But in the end, those people, they misuse those benedictions and then they get killed, they get destroyed. For instance, Ravan took all material benedictions from Lord Shiva, but the result was that he was ultimately destroyed with his family, kingdom, and everything else because he misused Lord Shiva's benedictions. Because of his material power, he became very proud and puffed up so that he dared kidnap the wife of Lord Ramchandra. In this way, he was ruined. To get material benedictions from Lord Shiva is not difficult, but actually they are not benedictions. The Prachetas received benediction from Lord Shiva, and as a result, they attained the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This is real benediction. So this benediction is what we can worship Lord Shiva for. There's no problem. And because as a result of this benediction, we're not going to misuse the benediction, and we're going to please Krishna and Lord Shiva also at the same time. The gopis also worship Lord Shiva in Vrindavan, and the Lord is still staying there as Gopishvara. The gopis, however, prayed that Lord Shiva bless them by giving them Lord Krishna as their husband. There is no harm in worshipping the demigods, provided that one's aim is to return home back to Godhead. Generally, people go to demigods for material benefit, as indicated in Bhagavad Gita. Those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. One enamored by material benefits is called Hritajnana. In this connection, it is to be noted that sometimes in revealed scriptures, Lord Shiva is described as being non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The point is that Lord Shiva and Vishnu are so intimately connected that there is no difference in opinion. There is no difference in opinion, but there is a difference in tattva. The actual fact is Ekala Ishvara Krishna Artha Bhritya. The only Supreme Master is Krishna, and all others are his devotees or servants. This is the real fact, and there is no difference of opinion between Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu in this connection. Nowhere in revealed scripture does Lord Shiva claim to be equal to Lord Vishnu. This is simply the creation of the so-called devotees of Lord Shiva, who claim that Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu are one. This is strictly forbidden in Vaishnava Tantra. Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma are intimately connected as master and servants. Shiva Virinchi Nutam. Vishnu is honored and offered obeisances by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. To consider that they are all equal is a great offense. They are all equal in the sense that Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and all others are his eternal servants. So Prabhupada tries to clarify the position of Lord Shiva, position of Lord Vishnu, and the devotees. Although Prachetas, they got the mercy of Lord Shiva, but by that mercy they became, and we saw in the Rudra Gitam how Shivji was praying Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna. And he said, this is what the prayers are, and if you repeat these prayers every day, you will get the mercy of Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. And this is what Prachetas did. They didn't pray to Lord Shiva, they prayed to Lord Vishnu, following the prayers given by Lord Shiva. Text 3940. Yanna sudhitam guruvaha prasadita viprascha vridhascha sadanuvritya arya natah suhrido bhatrascha sarvani bhutani anasuya yeva yanna sutaptam tapta etadisha nirandhasam kalam adabhram apsu sarvam tatetat purushasya bhumno vrinim mahete paritoshanaya. Dear Lord, we have studied the Vedas, accepted a spiritual master, and offered up respects to Brahmins, advanced devotees, and aged personalities who are spiritually very advanced. We have offered our respects to them, and we have not been envious of any brother, friends, or anyone else. We have also undergone severe austerities within the water and have not taken food for a long time. All these spiritual assets of ours are simply offered for your satisfaction. We pray for this benediction only and nothing more. So this is a devotee. We just want to offer everything for your satisfaction. So this is what Gita also says. No, whatever you do, whatever you offer, whatever austerities you perform, whatever you give away, do it for me. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam, the real perfection of life is pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In understanding the Vedas, one has to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who has actually understood him surrenders unto him after many, many births. We find all these qualifications in the Prachetas. They underwent severe austerities and penances within the water, and they did not take any food for a long time. They practiced these austerities not for material benediction, but for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. One may engage in any business, material or spiritual, but the purpose should be the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This verse presents a perfect picture of Vedic civilization. People training to become devotees should be respectful not only to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but also to those who are elderly in knowledge, who are Aryans and actual devotees of the Lord. An Aryan is one who does not boast, but is an actual devotee of the Lord. Aryan means advanced. Formerly, those who claimed to be Aryans had to be devotees of the Lord. For instance, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna chastised Arjuna by saying he was speaking like a non-Aryan. The Supreme Person, Bhagavan said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the progressive values of life. They do not lead to higher planets, but to infamy." Arjuna the Kshatriya was refusing to fight despite being directly ordered by the Supreme Lord. He was thus chastised by the Lord as belonging to a non-Aryan family. Anyone who is advanced in the devotional service of the Lord certainly knows his duty. It doesn't matter whether his duty is violent or non-violent. If it is sanctioned and ordered by the Supreme Lord, it must be performed. An Aryan performs his duty. It is not that the Aryans are unnecessarily inimical to living entities. The Aryans never maintain slaughterhouses and they're never enemies of poor animals. The Prachetas underwent severe austerities for many, many years, even within the water. Accepting austerities and penances is a vowed business of those interested in advanced civilization. So the word nirandhasa means without food. Eating voraciously and unnecessarily is not the business of an Arya. Rather, the eating process should be restricted as far as possible. When Aryans eat, they eat only prescribed eatables. Regarding this, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, "If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it." Thus, there are restrictions for the advanced Aryans. Although the Lord himself can eat anything and everything, he restricts himself to vegetables, fruits, milk, and so on. This verse thus describes the activities of those who claim to be Aryans. So anything that we do, anything that we give away, any austerities, any penances we do, it should be done for the pleasure of Krishna. Not that we do some austerity like whatever austerities we do, Ekadashi Vrata or some other thing, and then we ask for benedictions for ourselves. That is not pure bhakti. That is karma mishrit bhakti. So whatever we do, we tell the Supreme Lord, it's for your pleasure, and within our heart we should believe in it also. Then Krishna will be pleased. See, Ravan performed austerities, Kumbhakarna performed, Hiranyakashipu performed, but they all wanted benediction for themselves. Here Prachetas performed austerities for 10,000 years. But they wanted they wanted that this is for your satisfaction. In return, what did they get? And what did Ravan and Hiranyakashipu and Kumbhakarna get? So they wanted to, Ravan, Hinkara, and all these demons, they wanted to enjoy themselves after the benedictions. And in the end, they all got destroyed. Whole family got destroyed. And here, Prachetas, they got so many benedictions. Millions of years you will enjoy this material life. And after that, you'll go back to the spiritual world. Same austerity, but consciousness, aim was different. So the result was completely different, completely different. So this is what we have to do. Instead of doing austerities like demons. Now, in Kali Yuga, this demonic tendencies is within us. We do austerities and we want some benedictions for ourselves. That is demonic. It's not that demons, like demons, we have, maybe we have to have a couple of horns growing out of our head and long teeth and this or that. No. The mentality is demoniac if we want for ourselves. And devotional mentality is Krishna, it's for your pleasure. If you're satisfied, I'm more happy than anybody else, whatever austerities I perform. If we are chanting more rounds, Krishna, it's for your pleasure. It's not that I want some benedictions because I'm chanting. No. So that should be the mood. And then Krishna, if he wants to give, he has unlimited hands. How much we can gather by our two little hands? He can give unlimitedly. Anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you please accept
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, just now you mentioned about that, how we should pray to God. So I just wanted to ask how to have that kind of level of realization, because even though I see that this is so natural that it comes automatically that, oh Krishna, I want this, that, not even the material things, but especially like I want peace, I want, I mean, uh, always comes a self particular reason while praying. It doesn't come like naturally that Krishna, I'm praying for you. So I just feel like to have that kind of level of realization also, it will take so much time. I mean, so how to have that?
It will take time, but at least we can outwardly we can say it. One thing definitely that I have heard in lectures that we can ask for is, Krishna, please give me taste for chanting of your holy names. That we can ask, so I can chant more. But the chanting itself, we should ask, okay, it's for your pleasure. Yajna, sacrifice means sacrifice, right? So we have to do it for Krishna. Krishna's pleasure, not for our pleasure.
Yes,
Prabhuji. Even if we don't want to get up in the morning, Krishna, it's for your pleasure I'm doing it. So let me do it. Please help me in doing it. We don't want to attend classes. We don't like to read Bhagavatam or the scriptures. We don't like to do any service or give any charity donations. But we should give for Krishna's pleasure.
Okay, Prabhuji. So you said that like initially, even though the nature doesn't say that, or like we don't feel like doing that, but as a mechanical way also, we have to constantly repeat the or try to push ourselves. So slowly and gradually it will become a habit.
Yeah. And then we love doing it. Nobody has to force us.
Yes, Prabhuji. And initially, while you are reading, then you said that the people who are envy to the God, they automatically become envious to the whole world or other people. So I just wanted to know that how to define that, who are envious to the God. I mean, how I will get to know that whether I have envy to the God, or I mean, how to see that.
Suppose some devotee, well, we'll just look at devotional service or a circle, or we can look at outside also. Somebody has better qualities than me. Somebody is doing much better in job than I do. Somebody has a better car, better house, better family, better health, better way of speaking, better group than I have. I become little envious, if not more. I am envious. How come he has it and I don't? How come she has it and I don't? It's in a very subtle form. Instead of appreciating it, Instead of glorifying that person, see, you're doing so great. Is there some jealousy in my heart for that person that I have to see? And chances are I do have. So if there is no jealousy, no enviousness, and I appreciate his quality, his or her qualities, and I want to develop those qualities, then if I don't have enviousness, I would serve that person and ask that person, how can I develop these qualities as well? Or I pray to Krishna, okay, whatever you have given me, it's perfect, whatever you have given me, based on my karmas. But just give me some better qualities so I can serve you better. Because Krishna has made everybody is perfect. We all are perfect according to Krishna's creation. The way we had worked in the previous lifetimes, he has made it all perfect. And we all can be engaged in Krishna's service the way we are. It's not that like I have to learn all the musical instruments to sing better and to serve Krishna better. I can serve him in a different ways also. While at the same time, I can appreciate the singing qualities or musical playing instruments qualities of others. Everybody has wonderful qualities they can serve Krishna with. I can also serve Krishna with whatever he has given me.
Yes,
But
Prabhuji.
that mood has to be there.
Yes, Prabhuji. So this is something like envious to our friends, families, relatives, or whoever. But I wanted to know how exactly like one can become envious to Lord Krishna. Like how to see that? I mean, who is envious to God? I mean, what are the qualities in them?
Well, then slowly, when envious comes to the higher degrees. So what did Ravan want? He said, Ram, you don't deserve Sita. I deserve Sita. I want to enjoy Sita.
Oh yes, yes, Prabhuji.
So that was enviousness of Ram.
Right.
Hanumanji was not a Hanumanji wanted to bring Ram and Sita together. He wanted to serve Ram and Sita.
Yes, right. Likewise, like Srila Prabhupada also had to face so many envious people like American government, Indian government, and his own god brothers. But he was not envious of them, and that's why he is now so much popular. And yeah, I mean, another one example.
But at the same time, be careful. Prabhupada, his relationships with his god brothers is between them. We cannot judge them.
Yes, I was just reading.
Be careful. Be careful. We cannot judge them.
Yes, Prabhuji, right.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Just conscious of time, just a quick question here. This is, I'm sure, like the Krishna conscious movement, Prabhupada has taken it beyond the ocean to America and to different other countries. And I'm sure the question which I'm going to ask, this is very much relevant, and somebody has definitely asked in the past to Prabhupada that why we should go with Krishna consciousness or Krishna bhakti and with the Lord who only existed in India and his pastimes were in India in different places like Mathura, Vrindavan. Why we assume? I mean, I'm talking like this. There are people who can ask this question that why in America? America, Krishna was never there in America or any other part of Middle East or European countries. Then why we should go for it?
Well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, no, Prithvite Acha Yad Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachar Vive. So my name will be sung all over the world, in every town and village. So how is that going to happen if devotees don't come out and preach? And moreover, why outside India? Well, everybody is Krishna's creation. He says, Aham Bija Pradapita Sarva Yonishu Konteya Murtya Sambhavantiya. So he is a Bij Prajapita of everybody, every yoni all over the universe. So every living entity is ultimately a devotee of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Krishnera Nityadas. So Jivera, it's not Indian air only. It's Jivera. So everybody is a devotee of Krishna. So devotees or preachers, they take special risks to preach in the other parts of the world. And this makes Krishna very happy because that devotee is trying to bring these fallen, forgotten souls back into Krishna consciousness. So that vision is very high vision, to see everybody as a devotee of Krishna, not just Indians and not just Hindus, not just human beings, everybody. And try to engage everybody in service of Krishna. And moreover, we are, from this question of yours, we are looking at this lifetime only. Who knows, these Americans or British, they were in India born before last life. Who knows?
Exactly.
So those who are born in India right now, maybe they were born in China or Britain or Middle East, somewhere earlier. And this life, they're born in India. We don't know.
No, true, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
You're
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful and safe day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Jai Srila
Jai Shri
Prabhupada.